Oh yeah.
Did anybody else realize that we have a group of 6 people, yet our group list says that there's only like 4?
I don't know.
Well, that's weird.
Yeah.
Starting to show
Yeah.
up.
The final 360, they only gave me places for 4 people, and I was like, okay.
Weird.
Yeah.
I just work here.
So yeah, I guess what do you do at that point?
Just fill it out and you move forward, I guess.
If there was
Yeah.
anybody that you deemed that shouldn't get a good score, just leave them off.
I think everybody needs a good score.
Everyone should have a good score. All right. Well, let's go ahead and get started then.
Okay.
Did she just disappear?
I got tired of this already.
Oh, me? Is that me?
No.
Oh no.
No,
Kate.
no.
Maybe she couldn't hear us. I just flipped over to write down everybody's names so I don't forget to put you guys in.
Yeah, Katie's here, but I don't think
You guys can't hear me though.
I can hear
I
you.
can now.
Oh, good.
Everybody hears her?
Mic check, mic check.
I can hear everybody, so that means we're golden, right?
We are good.
Good to go. If anything changes out, we'll see what happens.
All right.
Okay. Let's go ahead and start off with a prayer then.
Okay.
Any volunteers? No?
I said it last week.
Oh. All right. Thanks, Austin.
Yep. Our Heavenly Father, we're thankful for the opportunity that we have to be able to learn and grow as a group and to be able to grow in this class. And please bless that we'll be able to take the things that we have learned and apply them into our lives and be able to better those around us and ourselves. Please bless that as we prepare to present our projects, that we'll be able to do so in a manner that is going to be able to benefit each other. And we say these things in the name of Jesus Christ. Amen.
Amen. Playing with a box. My kid likes getting into anything and everything, so. Okay. So how has everybody's week been?
Good.
Good.
Did you guys enjoy General Conference?
Yes.
Because priesthood session was especially impactful for me. I don't know if the ladies got to see that or not.
I've heard some really good stuff about it, so.
I can promise you that was the first time where I knew without a doubt that President Nelson is the prophet.
Oh,
Wow, that's awesome.
His,
yeah.
Hey, get down.
I really don't even know how to describe it, but as he turned and he spoke to us, I felt like a real sinner.
Oh.
But in a good way, like the type of way that makes you feel like you can do better.
For sure. Yeah.
I recommend you all take a look at that again and take the opportunity to listen to at least the last 2 talks of the priesthood session. Those 2 were really impactful to me.
Well, yeah, I'd love to for sure.
Okay, so this is talking about creating a document. So I'm not necessarily sure how to run this one. So I think we're just supposed to run them through one by one, I suppose, to kind of go over your projects, talk about some of the successes and the failures. Has anybody actually created those documents yet?
I did.
And
I did a PowerPoint kind of document. I don't know if I did it right or not, but I'll let everybody else go first. And then I'll be like, on second thought, mine's not finished. So
Whatever. No. Anything's
document, and then write your responses. So, I mean, however you write the responses, as long as you turn it in, I suppose.
Yeah, that's true.
So does anybody want to go first?
I would be happy to. The only other thing is, do we need to record this or just share it?
It's already being recorded.
Oh.
It is.
Yep.
Okay, perfect. Okay.
Thanks, Shayla.
So now the only other thing, one other thing, is should I just screen share?
Yes.
Is that the best way?
Yeah, I think that will be a good example. That way we can all kind of see it.
Okay.
And then visualize how everything was set up.
Okay. So now can you see my PowerPoint?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, cool.
I think if everybody else mutes their mic while she's going, it'll keep it on her page.
Oh, that's true.
Okay, so we'll let you talk, and then once you're done, we'll all open up our mics again.
Okay, cool.
All right.
All right, so I just did a little PowerPoint, and it just, here's my cover page, accountability project. So I just went through the questions that just, excuse my cold too, just answered. So what I wanted, or who I wanted to become, started out with my just kind of my feelings as to why I set the goals. So as you can see on the screen, since my daughter was born 2 years ago, I felt like I had lost my identity. Through this project, I wanted to focus on the following 5 aspects to re-identify who I am. So physically, I wanted to exercise and eat better. Mentally, I wanted to meditate and find peace in my crazy life. Emotionally, I wanted to become more positive and supportive to those around me. And then, spiritually develop daily scripture habits and prepare for Sunday lessons. And then financially save money. So how I had set up my goals was, and my, I know we all had to do this. My contract and goals, I guess, was that I wanted to have yeses to all my goals. I wanted to track, or I used the Google Sheets to track my goals. And I was going to show that, but maybe I won't worry about it. And then one of the things that I thought would help me even more than just tracking them and stuff was my friend who had wanted to set some goals as well, had decided along with me that why don't we give each other $3 for any goal that we couldn't accomplish. And then I had worked out a reward with my husband also if I accomplished all my goals. And then this is the one we kind of talked about this a couple weeks ago, that I had also included in my contract and goals to text or email my accountability partners daily about their goals, which turned out to be the hardest part. So quickly, I'll just run through my daily goals. They were, did I avoid bread and sugary treats? Did I write in my journal something I was grateful for? Did I read my scriptures for 10 minutes? Did I avoid spending money on eating out more than one meal? Did I spend 10 minutes reading a self-improvement book? And did I check on my accountability partners? So with those, at least one of those went to each of the 5 subjects that I wanted to strengthen myself in. And then my weekly goals, did I exercise for 30 minutes 3 times per week? Did I write a weekly letter or note to someone I love? Did I participate in some form of meditation or yoga? Did I pay all my bills due for that week? Did I prepare for Sunday by reading the weekly Come Follow Me? Same thing, those, each went to the 5 subjects. And then monthly goals, did I lose any weight or inches? Was I able to set aside any money into savings? Was I able to take some me time to improve myself mentally? Was I able to reduce my stress level by managing my time wisely? Did I attend a temple session this month? Did I plan and go on a date with my husband? So how did I do? So I did really good at recording all my stuff. And I succeeded in all my daily, weekly, and monthly goals except for texting or emailing my accountability partners. And this one was kind of hard for me because I kept pushing it and saying, well, there were days that they didn't text me and when they could have. And honestly, that's, I still took it as a loss because I had set the goal and that's how I decided I was going to be held accountable. So unfortunately, that was the only one that I failed at, but that's okay. So in the long run, I did not modify any goals or consequences. Even after that had happened, I just kept trying my best. So I did mention on my little slideshow, it just says I missed the texting or emails several times, and I'm sad that was the only thing that held me back. So I did pay my friend for every time I forgot to text my accountability partners. So I don't have an exact total, but I think it's too much. So, and then I was grateful for the things I learned about myself and wish I could have gotten 100% in all categories, but it's okay. And then again, in conclusion, from this project, I was definitely able to remind myself that I am a strong, capable woman and mother. I enjoyed the opportunity I had to remind myself that I can do hard things. I'm grateful for the habits that I've been able to form and have continued to set goals to continue to improve myself. I'm giving myself a 10 out of 10 on my effort because I really do feel like I did really well considering. I needed this, and then I just said I needed this project for the opportunity to set goals to improve myself. I learned that it is hard to control if other people will initiate conversation or respond when needed to be held accountable to someone else. But when I had to be accountable to someone, I was able to succeed easier. So ultimately, even though it didn't help me that that they weren't there for me, sorry, I'm trying to figure out how to stop sharing. Overall, I think that I accomplished way deeper things behind the scenes. So it was really cool to see how all of that was able to come. So the end.
Very good.
Awesome.
Thank you.
You had a lot of goals. Way to go.
Oh, I started it, and then I was like, oh, I should do one here too. So I think overall, it maybe was a little much, but it was good. I needed it. So.
Okay. Well, I think you did a fantastic job.
Thank you.
Don't feel bad. I also had some issues with a couple of my my goals, and I don't even think that mine really set in until I got to the end of it. But so I guess now, just any comments, any constructive criticisms, shout outs, I don't know.
I thought you did a good job of putting it all together, and I think you did a good job at overall just setting goals that were going to help you reach your overall outcome.
Oh, thank you.
Hey, this is what I want to be at the end. This is how I'm going to get there.
Yeah, thank you.
Way to be honest and actually do your consequence.
Oh, that one was the hardest because I was like, obviously I was going to do it, but I was like, oh, this is so stupid because it's not even one of my main goals. But oh well. So she was happy. And I got money back too, so it was worth it.
So I have a question for you.
Sure.
Do you feel like you accomplished what you wanted to accomplish?
I do. Overall, I feel so much better about myself, and like I had said, as a woman and a mother, and I think that was the goal behind it, was just to improve myself. And so yes, yes, to answer that.
Perfect. So what do you think you're going to change because of this project?
Oh gosh. I don't know, be more positive about myself. I think that all along I've been a wonderful woman and mother, and obviously no one's perfect, and I do have things to work on, but I think that the biggest thing was that I needed to recognize who I am again.
Mm-hmm.
So I think that I'll just remember that.
That's perfect.
Thank you.
I recommend that we all try to remember that at some point in time.
Yeah, for sure.
We're not these terrible people that we think we are. We're a lot better than that, and us recognizing that we make mistakes and that we don't do everything perfectly is a demonstration that we are seeing the things we're doing wrong, and that's where it all starts.
Yeah.
We see something that's going wrong, and then our next step is to change it. And I think this project helped to do that, and I believe it helped you to do the same.
Yeah, thank you. It really did.
Okay. So who's next?
I have mine. I can do mine.
Okay.
Okay, how do you screen share? Oh, got it.
Little green, yeah.
Okay.
And I think we'll do the same thing again. We'll let you screen share.
Can you see it?
Not yet.
You're not yet.
Okay. Let me see. What do we have to do? Okay.
Uh-oh.
Oh, this is kind of weird. Entire screen.
So if you click.
Okay, there we go.
Yeah.
Now I think okay. You guys just get to read it. Here you go.
Right. So we're gonna go on silent mode, and we're just gonna let you narrate it and talk about it and kind of share your thoughts. Is that okay? I don't know if she heard me.
Oh, has it started?
Yeah, go ahead.
It started. Oh, there we go.
Can you guys see it now?
Oops,
Yeah.
Sorry. Yes.
Okay. Let me start over. Okay, I'm going to start it over. Can you guys still see it? Can you still see it?
Yes.
Sorry, we were muted. Yes, we could.
You're going to have to keep talking to keep it on your screen.
Oh, okay. So you guys can't hear the music and everything else that's with it then?
No, we can't hear any of the background or anything. So You'll have to narrate it in order to keep
that.
it on your screen.
Stinks. Okay, here's my project. I did it also. I didn't have to talk. Here we go. So this is who I want to become. I want to be the best me that I can be. I want to be able to keep up with my young adult children and my teenage son. I want to be able to be active and participate in family activities to keep my testimony strong and be the person that my Heavenly Father wants me to be. In order to do that, I wanted to be able to receive personal revelation for myself, my family, my Relief Society sisters, and to recognize promptings and revelations as they come. And then to have the courage to act on those promptings when I receive them and not second guess myself or feel embarrassed when they come. So here were my goals. My first one is that I was going to do yoga at least 4 days a week. And any time that I missed out of the week, if I missed 4 days or if I didn't have 4 days, there we go. Then the next day I had to haul water for our horses and chickens by myself because we don't have water that goes out there. So we have to actually haul buckets of water. And when we started, this was in the middle of winter. So it's snowing, it's icy, and it takes about 30 minutes to go haul that water. And I hate the job and they're not my horses. So then I was going to attend the temple 3 times a month. And for each time I missed during the month, then I had to sacrifice something that I was going to have. And I was going to put $50 in my son's mission account. I will not eat any refined sugar. My consequence for that would be each day that I eat refined sugar, then I have to do all the dishes because dishes are the worst job. And usually everybody works together and we just try and get the kitchen cleaned. So if I ate sugar, I'd do everything. And then I was going to check my partner, Cheryl and Wendy's goals daily and give them good encouragement. And they would hold me accountable for checking too. So here's my tracking sheet. I didn't change anything except for how I filled out my tracking sheet. As you can see, I started doing my no's in the temple, and then it was a little hard to find my yeses. But if you look to also there was a clause in there since January was only a half month when we started. I only had to attend twice. And then there's the rest of my tracking sheets that just actually show how much. So for my goals, I did not modify any of my goals. I kept them just the same as they were. Then the one time I chose an almost because I couldn't decide. It was a yes because I did make it to the temple, but then the temple was closed. We'd been planning that day all week long. It was the last day of the month, so I didn't have another chance, but I had found family names to take with me. My husband and I were going to meet my parents. We were going to do sealings. So I felt like I tried. I did my best, but at the same time, I really didn't actually get to go attend the session. So that's why I said an almost. So I split the consequence and put 25 into my son's mission account instead of the full 50. Because I did try to go, I was prepared with names, but I should have checked the schedule, I guess. And so it was my fault also. And then my husband was also an accountability partner for me. So at the very beginning of the project, we went to Costa Rica. And the first night at dinner, we had a chef that came in the home, and she had been talking to us all about this dessert. And she was standing there watching me eat this dessert. And so it was really hard because where it's a different culture over there and we were on a business trip, we had to be really careful not to offend anybody. So I went ahead and I ate one bite of the dessert and it was so good and it was so hard. But as soon as she went back in the kitchen, I gave it to somebody else. And so my husband said that I didn't have to do the consequence and do dishes when we got back home. And then the rest of the week, I was able just to avoid that situation so that I didn't offend anybody and I didn't have to worry about taking those bites. So how I changed, I became healthier and stronger because of my better choices of eating and doing the yoga. It helped me to make that goal of being healthier and stronger. I was able to try new recipes, trying to do things without sugar, finding fun things. Yoga was very stress relieving, and that helped with school and other pressures, things that I was under. I was creating better balance through the yoga. Because of the temple goal, I started thinking about the temple more often, trying to always think about it. What week am I going? What days can I go? And then that made me think about my covenants and how well I'm keeping them. I haven't received any great revelations or feel like I'm receiving any revelations easier. But I still feel like I'm putting myself in a position that I can. But my love for the Savior and my testimony is definitely firmer. So in the future, I'm going to keep doing yoga. I'm going to keep eating healthy and not eating the sugar. And I'm going to attend the temple at least 2 times a month. but then I will try to get that third time in. I found that third one was really, really hard to try to fit in. So I feel like I can at least do the 2 times because that's still a step up from what I was doing it once a month. I found that I really don't like the consequences. It seemed really negative to me. I work better for rewards. So in the future going forward, instead of having consequences, if I miss my goal, I'm going to have rewards, and I'm going to make more goals and start working towards rewards. I say I get a 10 because this took a lot of time and thought, and I have changed and I have become better as I met those goals. And accountability to me is my own integrity. Sometimes it's easy to justify how we will do things when it's only ourselves. But knowing that someone else is relying on me makes me more accountable because I don't want to let them down or have them think less of me.
Good job.
Okay.
Wow.
Awesome.
I wish you could have heard the music and seen all the cool transitions.
I know.
It's better that everybody didn't, because then they're going to see mine and how lame it is. So
No.
Makes me feel better. I didn't even prepare a PPT yet.
No. Well, that was awesome, Katie. One of the biggest things that stuck out to me was the consequence thing, because I agree with you 100%. And I think that's why I'm so down on myself right now and in my project, because I was like, well, I didn't achieve that goal. But I like your idea of rewarding myself on the opposite side. So, but I'm ready to reward myself with refined sugar.
I thought about it. I was like, Saturday or with family, and I'm like, oh, I'm done. I turned my PowerPoint in on Friday night before we left. So
True.
But I didn't.
Oh, I know. Oh, that's hard. That was beautiful. Good job.
Thanks.
Man, being in a foreign country and having to keep up with that's difficult.
Story of my life.
Yeah. My wife talked about, so she had gone to Japan for a math trip. So she was studying this thing called Sangaku, which is Japanese religious mathematics. It's really weird. But she had gone there, and everybody's drinking tea. Just everybody. It's like a huge thing over there. And with every meal you have tea. And if you reject tea, then you get in like serious trouble with the people there. And so you try not to do that. But, being a member of the church, it becomes something that you have to do no matter what happens. And so she had friends that were there with her that did drink tea. And so what she'd do is when they weren't looking, she'd shove it over towards them. They'd down it and give her an empty cup. Kudos to you for being able to do all those things. Great job.
Thanks.
Seriously, I agree. And one other thing too, because mine, the yoga thing was super helpful to me. It's amazing how, because I'm not going to say made fun of people, but I did not agree with yoga. And then when I started doing it, I was like, oh, this is why people do yoga and meditate.
Yeah, it's amazing the change that you get. And just a few weeks, I was like, oh man.
Yeah. And
so, because I've had some health issues so a year ago, I had 16 weeks where I couldn't even lift over a gallon of milk.
Oh my gosh.
And so it was being able to come back and now I can go out and lift a bale of hay again. And not through lifting weights or anything, but just through yoga. It's been pretty awesome.
That is really cool.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
All right. So who's next?
I can go ahead here. We'll get mine over with anyway. All right.
We'll run it the same way we did with the other ones.
Oh, yeah. I guess put a mute now.
All right. Alrighty. So I just kind of structured mine the same way that kind of the questions were laid out. So the desire, what I wanted out of it. Can everybody hear me? Okay, perfect.
Yes, sorry.
No, you're good. I just had to pan to my other screen so I could see people. So I wanted to become somebody that was more physically and mentally fit. So that would help me to be more spiritually fit, to be able to provide for my family, and also wanted to be able to continually go closer to my Heavenly Father. I wanted to be able to be someone that is strong, spiritual, and emotional example to my family. So as far as my goals, so I went ahead and I just put a link in here for mine. So it was kind of fun being able to kind of keep track of the goals and everything there. And so just kind of the layout, I use the Google Doc as well. So my goals, I wanted to set that I would study Come Follow Me every day. And then also eat, well, I guess I'll go through each one of these individually here, but that one I wanted to be able to help kind of grow spiritually, to be able to be prepared for Sunday, but also just prepared as a family. And then moving to my next one here, I wanted to eat only one portion size of food. I have a problem where it tastes delicious, and I'll just kind of where it's delicious, and I'll just keep on eating way too much. And then I had a bad habit of I'd always do my homework after midnight. I'd always be up late, 1, 2, 3 o'clock in the morning doing homework, just getting everything done because I'd put it off, or I was out riding dirt bikes or doing other things. And then I wanted to check my partner's goals, obviously, because that was something we needed to do. And I just put the link in here, so it made it really easy for me to be able to kind of jump right into his from mine. My weekly goals. So I wanted to be able to set aside 10% of my income from each check into a savings account. So I get paid twice a week or twice a month. So I did a really good job of setting that aside, and it kind of gave an option to just be able to build that savings up, be able to have kind of an emergency fund, or as I joke, in other words, go have fun fund. And then I wanted to be able to spend more time with my family each night. Sometimes I get home and I get carried away with homework or get tied up with work. And so I wanted to be able to spend the time in between when I got home and when I had to get working on my homework and when my kids went to bed, just fully focused on them. And then just keeping a study journal as I was doing my homework, and just kind of keeping track of what I was learning, what I was able to apply, and what I wanted to remember. And so kind of jumping back here, I didn't make any modifications to my goals. I felt like they were kind of keeping me on track, keeping me headed the direction I wanted to go. You know, the no's, as far as when I didn't hit what I was looking to do, you know, it was probably out of laziness, really, that I didn't get them done. I just was either too tired or didn't have the motivation to get it done. And so that was lack of commitment on my part. You know, just getting around to them, you know, and then paying the consequence. My consequences were actually set out here, that I wanted to be able to, if I did not meet my goal, I was going to set aside the money that I would have used for fun activities into savings instead. Because I like to buy projects and work on them in the garage and fix them and then flip them and sell them. So by not meeting my goal, I then set aside that as well. Accomplishments, and this isn't perfected yet. I'm still adding stuff to it, but I ended up pretty close to where I was hoping to be. You know, there's always room for improvement, to keep growing. You know, from the things I did notice, that I was more rested, I was feeling more comfortable from not overeating, and more spiritually prepared just for in general around with my family, or even for the lessons on Sunday. You know, and I didn't do as well with the Come Follow Me each day as I had hoped, but you know, I wanted to be able to do that perfectly. But you know, as we all are, we're not perfect, so unfortunately, I didn't hit that on the head. You know, future things that I would change. You know, I would set aside more time to accomplish the set goals. So maybe structure them a little bit different, so that way I have a little bit more time to accomplish them. And then I wanted to add, I thought that the setting the 10% aside was great, and I wanted to increase that by an additional 10% to be able to just continue to further grow that account. I gave myself a 9 because there was some of the times where I was just out of sheer laziness that I didn't accomplish my goal. So I feel like I did a pretty honest effort towards it, but that I could have had a little bit of room for growth. So that's the score that I gave myself there. You know, as far as takeaways, you know, when we hold ourselves accountable, we're able to grow and learn more effectively. If there's nobody holding us accountable, it's easy to get lazy and easy to not want to do it, or be like, nah, I'll do it tomorrow. So just trying to stay out of that habit of being lazy. I mean, it's not a perfect system, that's gonna keep you from being lazy. I'm evidence to that you can still be a little lazy. But I think as far as that goes, those were the takeaways that I had from it. So with that, if I can find where in the world we are here. How do I? There we go. I don't know how to stop.
Good job.
Did that work? Yeah. Good job.
I think it's
awesome.
interesting how many people, because my two partners, they both had come follow me too to study that.
Mhm.
Along with you two. I'm like, guess I should. That's an awesome goal.
We were wanting to do, that they're wanting us to do anyway. So
Yeah, for sure.
Your presentation's great, Austin.
Yeah, you did awesome.
I keep feeling worse and worse as everybody's talking about their goals, and I'm just like, man, I should have taken this even more seriously.
Well, and I think it's different for every person because I needed it, and maybe you don't, Kevin. So.
Oh no, I knew that.
It's just one of the, one of those things that I was just like, all right, I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna do this full force.
Yeah.
Austin, I liked that you had said about the eating one portion because, for anybody, that was one of my biggest things too. Like with this, I was like, I want to lose weight. So how do you lose weight? You eat less. So I too felt a lot better, and so I thought that was interesting too, that we all had some sort of physical goal as well.
Yeah.
Oh gosh.
Always a good one.
You did a fantastic job, Austin. The honesty is really nice. The whole point of this project is the honesty. It's all about us, saying yes or no and following through with whatever our things were. And I actually had a question for you. So what were some of the things that you had to do for your for when you messed up, and how did you end up carrying those out?
So my consequence there was to set aside the money that I would have spent on fund into the savings account. Yeah, I probably moved a few dollars more than I would have liked, but I think it was just kind of I want to say fun, but it took away from my fun really. But it was cool to see just how much it's like, oh wow, I'm gonna hit my goal next time, so that way I don't have to set that $50 at a time as opposed to buying your bike or whatever.
There you go. Okay. Well, because I don't want mine to be the last one, because I'd like to end on an actually good note, I think I'll go next. So I'm just gonna share with you guys the project itself, and then I'll just talk about a few of the items in it and let you guys know how I feel I did. All right. Oh, not that one. Okay, everybody can hear me, right?
Yes.
All right, so, oh gosh, so I kept mine really simple. Let's go back to the beginning. So I'm going to read this out for you guys. So for the past few months, I've received many promptings regarding some changes that I need to make with my life. While I have always been very dedicated and determined, I have found that the type of person I am compared to the type of person I need to be is very different. I want to be the type of person that angers slowly or never at all. I want to be prepared to that's supposed to say humble. Great. Humble myself and be able to listen to others and their struggles and truly empathize so as to be able to help and not be a hindrance. Oh, where did it go? It disappeared. I lost it. There it is. Not be. I wish to be the type of humble man that is worthy of receiving help from the Lord, even in his studies. Ultimately, I want to be the type of person who is worthy to be a judge in Israel. I want to be the type of man who is ready to accept a calling from the Lord, no matter what the calling might be. Additionally, I want to be the type of person who seeks learning from all sources and not just what I think is right. I want to be the person who can find and acquire knowledge from many sources and be able to discern truth and error in all things. I want to be the type of person who can honestly say that the Lord is with at all time. That is the type of person that I want to be. So accordingly, I kind of wrote mine down in, like, I guess, what is it, contract form. So I just, these are the few things. In order to ensure that I uphold my promise, I changed these significantly. These were a couple of the commitments that I had talked about. But I'll tell you that, wow, I did not follow through with any of these commitments. So I had changed mine to be that I would do whatever it was that my wife wanted to do. So that was, I had changed that consequence, and I forgot to go back in and change that. And I'll tell you guys a little bit more about what I committed to do based upon the no's that you'll see. So let's go here. So my daily goals, the ones that I wanted to do every day, were to read from the scriptures for at least once for 5 minutes before homework and video games. I'm a gamer, so I have to be careful with how much time I spend on that and how much time that I'm spending actually with my family. And so I did pretty good with each and every one of these. Game usage was to be limited to an hour for personal use, unless it was used as a bonding time between family or friends. Let my family know that I love them. Devote an hour strictly to my wife. Check on both of my accountability partners. Devote 1 hour specifically to my daughter, and make sure that we had a family home evening, and then do one random act of love for my wife. Obviously that should be done daily, but I wanted to make sure that I at least did it once a week. So as you can see, for the most part, during the first little bit, I kept up with my yeses, and I was pretty consistent, but I had my first no in week 8, and that was just the amount of time that I spent playing video games. And as I got to the end, it just kind of got worse. I started to realize I was getting closer to the end of the semester, and I didn't have as much homework or anything that I needed to do. And so I just kind of, I don't know, I feel like I let go a lot.
You got me into playing now.
I definitely got my wife into playing video games, but I made sure that she actually enjoyed it before anything else. So I'm gonna stop the screen share, and I'll talk to you guys a little bit more on kind of the notes of the things that I felt. I did follow through on my consequences, and any of the no's, I really was just lazy. It was really just me saying, no, I don't want to do that today. And my consequences are that I've had to say yes to a lot of things that I wouldn't normally do. I'm not a big traveler. I don't like to travel. I don't like to go to new places. It's always a hassle to me, and I grew up not moving a lot, but oh, my son just get the computer closed. So the first thing that I agreed to was a trip to France with my wife and my kids. And so a lot of people might say, oh, well, that's a huge blessing and that's a special thing. Like you get to go to France. And I'm like, well, yeah, I'm trying to put it into a positive perspective, but it's hard for me simply because traveling just isn't my forte. Additionally, my wife and I had made plans that at our 10-year anniversary that we would purchase new rings for each other, because when we first got married, I was poor and had nothing. And so I bought something from the BYUI store, and we used that for the longest time. But because I knew that I needed to be more accountable to myself and to my family, I just recently purchased a new ring for her as part of my part of the consequences. Additionally, we've been to multiple outings, like out to eat in different places. We went to Salt Lake City. We went out to eat in random places in Idaho Falls, just to kind of hit those consequences and cover up those no's, so to say. And it's been hard, but I feel like by going through those consequences, it helped me to be a better person and actually enjoy going out and spending more time doing just random things with my wife. Because most of the time I spend at home with my kids and I don't get out very often. So when it comes to whether I accomplished or what I feel I accomplished, I don't know. I was looking at all your guys' projects and listening to you guys talk about a lot of the stuff that you went through, and I just feel like I didn't accomplish much. I feel like there's so much more that I could have done, and I could have utilized this project to do more with what I have. And I know I've had plenty of opportunities to change and be better, and I've kind of passed them off. And I'm really recognizing when there's an opportunity for me to improve, and I'm just saying no to it. And it feels pretty bad when that happens.
I think you're being harsh.
So when it comes to what I'll do differently in the future is, especially with the most recent general conference, is I know that I actually need to commit to these things. The consequences don't help me very much because, you know, I'm going to France, so I don't necessarily see that as a really bad consequence. And my wife was pretty happy with the ring, and she's been pretty happy about all the trips we've been on, and seeing her happy makes me happy. So I don't see how those consequences help me very much. But I feel like my scale was probably about like 5 or 6 on the effort that I put into it. I feel I should have put more effort into it. And I know that more than anything, I have to make sure that my family is a huge part of accountability. If my wife doesn't know what my plans are and she doesn't know that I'm working on something, then how can she actually help me? So those are things that I need to change. I need to ensure that she knows what my goals are and that she knows what I want to accomplish so that she can help me, because it wasn't enough to just have the people that I had. So that's it.
Kevin, I think you did awesome. I think you totally are, you know, selling yourself short. I think that's what this project was about. You know, was seeing our strengths and seeing our weaknesses, and you know, I think you did amazing.
I think it was a great strength of how you gamed your consequences. You know, this will be terrible, but it'll be great at the same time. See?
Yeah,
I'm just kidding. No, I think you did a great job.
Those
Interesting what bad consequences are to each one of us.
I agree.
To me, those things are like my rewards. I would totally be like, oh, if I set the goal, I'm doing, and I would work towards that. And see, for you, that as far as it being a consequence, you got to still, yes, spend that time with your wife and you got to grow. So I think you did meet your ultimate goal that you wanted, just in different ways and maybe what you were expecting to meet it. But I think you put in that effort, you put in that time, because that's a lot of time and effort to do those things and make her feel that important.
For sure.
It was worth it at the end. The only thing that I can say is that I hope that with the new changes, with general conference and everything that I've learned, that I will start setting more focused goals. Because I think it was Dallin H. Oaks who said, there's nothing wrong with playing video games and watching television and playing sports and all that. But remember that with every decision, there's an opportunity cost. And as I sat there thinking about the opportunity costs, I thought about how I was spending my day and how I really was inflicting some serious opportunity costs. And so though I may not have done it during the project, I know that I can still change these things, and it's not about the limitation of a 14-week project.
For sure.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You did awesome, Kevin.
Okay. So I guess that leaves only one more person.
All right, so I have a warning. I forgot my laptop charger on my layover, so I'm on my coworker's laptop right now. So I don't have anything to show you guys because it's on my laptop, and I don't have that. So I earlier was like, I wrote down like best that I could from my memory, like what my goals were. So I'll share that with you guys. But I'm not going to screen share it because it's literally just a list on my computer. I'll talk to you guys about it.
It's better than nothing, and it shows your effort to actually be a part of this, so don't worry.
Okay, good. Okay, so for my daily goals, one of them was to do all my schoolwork because I'm really bad at that. One of them was to work out for 30 minutes a day. And then I have like another job that's I can do on my own time. So I, for 1 hour each day, need to do that job. And then I also did eating healthy. And then that was kind of broad. So I rated myself each day on a scale of 1 to 10. And then my last daily goal was complimenting someone every day. And then my weekly goals were practicing my French 3 times a week. And then my Come Follow Me, I wanted to do that 3 times a week, or like scripture study or whatever. And then monthly goals, I also had temple to go. I just did once a month because my schedule is so crazy. And yeah, those were all the goals that I can remember. And then as far as how I did, let's see. I wrote a little paragraph to share with you guys about who I'm becoming. This isn't the original one I wrote, but I just wrote it earlier. So at the beginning of this, I wanted to become the type of person who follows through on my word. I want to be able to tell those around me a goal or idea, and then I want to be able to follow through with that goal. And then I said, I want this to be able to be something others see in me so that I can inspire others to be goal-oriented. I want to be able to finish things I start because that's something I'm really bad at. I get motivated really easily, but I have like 0 self-discipline. So I can start things, but I don't finish them. And then, let's see. It says, I said I want to set more goals in the future and write them down. And for me, like a lot of times I think of goals and I don't tell other people because that's like really a commitment once you tell someone. So one of my goals after this project is to like tell my friends and family of my goals and my desires, because then I feel more committed to them. And then the last thing is I want to be real with myself and with others about my failures and successes. That's one thing I learned from this project is I won't always be perfect with the goals that I make. And so like I said, I don't have the best self-discipline, so I'm definitely not going to always like do every goal that I have or that I make, but I think being real with my failures and successes, you can learn from it. So that's what I wrote. And then taking accountability of my actions and my self-discipline. And my last goal that I wrote is to continue this, like, I don't know if it's a method or whatever, continue this goal-oriented method after this class. And then if I had to like rate myself, I would give myself maybe an 8 or 9 because there's always room for improvement. But yeah, that's pretty much mine. Nice and short.
Good job. That's awesome.
There you go.
I have to say I am thoroughly impressed with what you've done and what you've been doing and going to school and being a flight attendant. I could not imagine what it would be like.
I don't really have a life, but you know, it's fine.
For sure. But now I had like a pinpoint one thing that I wanted to say, but one of the biggest things that kind of came to mind was that that we all have different ways we follow through and stuff, and I just thought for sure telling people is a great way, and that's what I had to do, and I think that's why I was so successful, is because my husband knew, my friend knew, so I loved that you had said that.
Yeah, I realized that because I make goals in my head all the time, but it's different to actually like tell other people and then start doing them. So
yeah. One thing too, because that has come more recently when I've said stuff out loud, that stuff like falls into place, you know? Like somebody will hear, oh, you have the goal for this. Here, let me help you out. And I'm like, what? Cool. Okay.
Yeah, definitely.
It becomes real once you say it out loud. Once somebody else knows about it, it becomes something that, hey, you're gonna have to follow through on.
Yeah.
And then they ask you about it, and you have to like, you feel like you have to like keep up with it. It's almost like a pride thing. I don't know. It's bad.
Yeah, you just have to hold on, you know, true to what you said.
Yeah.
I'll also add, I had a mission president at one point in time. Actually, it was my second mission president in the mission, and he said that there are some times that I make a goal that I don't say out loud, but the only reason I do that is because it is the one goal that I don't want Satan to know about. There are times that once you make it verbal, it's also, you know for a fact that there's going to be someone working against you.
Mm-hmm.
That's probably why it's so hard to get to the temple once you make that goal.
There
You're
you go.
right.
Because Satan and God and Satan both know that that's what's going to bring you closer to God.
Mm-hmm.
And especially since Satan knows it, he's going to be working super hard to make sure it doesn't happen.
For sure.
And so, for example, he will close down the temple. Or he won't close it down, but you'll happen to forget to check something and this and that, and you'll end up going to the temple and it'll be closed, and you know, yada yada yada. But it comes down to it that even for each and every one of us, that when we make a goal that brings us closer to God, even if we do all in our power to make it happen and it ends up not working out, we put in the effort.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that each and every one of us, each of the group members that we have here today, has proven themselves in one way or another. And I feel that even if you guys feel you may have messed up a little bit, remember that 98% of what you did was yes. And the other 2% was no.
That's true.
And God focuses on that 98%. And he knows that we meant our best when we did the no's. And even if we chose not to, I'm sure there's reasons. You know, we might just say that we're lazy, but life has different things that come our way that gets in the way and that attacks the people that we are. And we just put in our effort. I think we have a fantastic group, and I'll say it weirdly, but you know, I'm proud of each and every one of you guys for putting in the effort to accomplish what you've accomplished. And I really do hope that though we might not see each other again throughout the rest of our college careers, at least we will know that we started something with this project, and we've got something to continue on with.
Definitely.
Yeah.
I know, and I may or may not find you all on Facebook, just FYI. So I'm really, this has been amazing. This has been the most amazing group I've ever had in any of my college classes, and I appreciate you guys all for your hard work, and I'm going to miss you.
It's been a beneficial group for sure, because sometimes you just meet up and it's just wasted time. You don't accomplish anything. You don't grow from each other. But I feel like this group has definitely been a benefit. It's actually been a useful use of my time.
Yeah, I agree.
I'll make a shout out to Janaya before we close things out, so that even though she's not here, she knows that we're all talking about her. I actually put in my 360, I described her as the person who always, she's kind of like a jokester. She's always got something funny that she says and something funny that she does, and it's not in a bad way, but it helps bring a smile to our faces. And so I think we had a wonderful semester.
I agree.
Yep. It's one of those groups you won't forget.
I know. Dang it. And I have to tell you, and I think I may have said it at the beginning of the semester, this is my last class. I'm graduating on Friday, and this is my last group, my last everything. And I'm getting emotional right now. Like, you guys are amazing. So thank you.
Congratulations.
Awesome. Thank you.
You know, my dad always, I think I'll look it up. I'm going to let someone else make some comments, and I'm going to look up a famous quote that my dad gave to me when I was a lot younger.
I don't know if I can make any more comments.
So Shay, just tell us, where are the last few places you've flown to then?
Right now I'm in Seattle.
Okay.
And then the other day I was in Manchester, United Kingdom. And before that, I don't even remember where I was before that. I don't know.
So you kind of always stay more in that Europe area?
So I'm based out of Philadelphia, so
Okay.
we do a lot of Europe, yeah. But then we also do a lot of flights to like the West Coast, like California and Seattle and Portland and stuff.
That's
Oh,
awesome.
wow.
Yeah.
It's amazing. I don't know how you can keep up with everything.
No, that's so cool.
It's a blast, yeah. It's not glamorous. It's not a glamorous job, but it's definitely fun.
Good for you.
Thanks.
And how much longer do you have, Shay?
What was that?
How many more semesters do you have for school for you?
Well, it depends on how many classes I can do each semester. I'm going to try to do, right now I'm in 3, and then I'm going to try to keep doing 3. If I can do 3, I only have 3 more semesters.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
That's so cool.
So I'm like, I see the light at the end of the tunnel. And I just like, I want to just knock them out and finish.
Yeah, for sure. It comes quicker than you think. I never would have thought,
Really?
being here. Yeah, so you can do it. It's
Yeah.
probably stressful, but
Yeah.
C's get degrees. Hi, Austin.
Whoever said that, I don't know what you're talking about.
Good statement, though. So I don't know if I found the full quote or not, because it's for some reason it's a lot more difficult to find. But this is I don't know if any of you have seen the Muppets Christmas Carol. Have you guys ever seen the Muppets Christmas Carol?
I love the Muppets Christmas Carol.
Okay, that's what my family used to watch every Thanksgiving, because for us officially on Thanksgiving Day it was Christmas. Like we could go into Christmas music, we could go into all that Christmas stuff, and so this is what happens. It's Scrooge has gone into the past or into the future, and he's looking at Kermit and his family there, and Tiny Tim has already passed away. And it says here, it's from Kermit, who says, "It's all right, children. Life is made up of meetings and partings. That is the way of it. I am sure that we shall never forget Tiny Tim or this first parting that there was among us." My dad gave that quote to me one day, shortly after we had lost a pretty close family friend. And I think that life is supposed to be made up of meetings and partings, simply because once we've met someone, the relationship we hold with them is forever eternal. We may not be able to remember in our physical bodies the people that we barely talked with for 14 weeks, but in the duration of eternity, our spirits will never forget the wonderful times that we have spent together. And I am sure that this group has been one of my favorite groups throughout all my semesters. And I've still got about, 3.5 left. But this is a group that I'm going to be sad to leave behind. So
I clearly am too.
You're just going to miss school all the way around.
all of it. I'm like, my uncle told me, he said, just wait until the beginning of the next semester. That's when you're not going to miss it. And I was like, you're right. But no, seriously, thank you guys so much. And keep up with your goals and your amazing lives. We got this.
You do.
all right.
Thanks, everybody.
Thank you.
Well, that's it. Have a wonderful one.
You too.
Shaylin, I guess we'll wait for you to email it out. Will you be posting it on the group chat portion?
So mine won't load ever. I have anytime I have to do a group discussion board post, I have to email the teacher.
Oh yeah.
I've had to call tech about it, and it's never been fixed. So if I email it to you, can one of you guys post it?
Yeah, for sure.
I'll email to everyone, and then someone just post it if you can.
Okay. I can
I'm
post it.
not sure it has to be posted.
That's what I was going to say. That was the other thing, was I wasn't sure if it needs to be posted this
Okay.
time.
I think she sent out something on the discussion like that announcement page or something.
All right. Well, let's just make sure Janaya gets it. That way she
Yeah, I'll
knows.
send it to everyone then.
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
Okay.
Thanks, Shay.
All right.
Hey, good luck, everybody.
You
Good luck, guys. Have a good one.
See you guys.
Bye.
Bye.